Yo, make sure to like and subscribe in the next 5 seconds, then you have the best luck of your life.
Yo, what's going on, guys? Alright, in today's video I'm going to be going over how to play on really high ping. In this video I'm playing in the Asia Cash Cup, so I'm on roughly 130 ping to 140. Basically I go over how I do things and why I do things, than what I would normally do on my regular ping. Also I stream every single day on Twitch out of our silent, so make sure you guys go drop a follow. And last but not least, make sure you use code THESILONE in the Fortnite item shop spelled exactly like this on the screen. With that being said, guys, let's get into the video. Right here, I'm rotating to Dirty Dock so I can upgrade to a purple tag. As I'm going over to the robot, there's also a player red in front of me. So immediately I start crouching just so I can get a beam on him since I'm on 100 ping. Somehow he hears me, so immediately I go for height with my bounce pad. For me, it's easier to win fights if I have high ground and high ping. Usually, if I was on my own ping, I would drop down to their box, place a staircase, and try to pick extra walls and take it. But right here, if I do that on 130 ping, he's gonna wind up getting a shot off on me before I can even shoot back. So right here, I build a flat in the staircase and act like I'm leaving, and I start crouching and aiming in. If you guys didn't know, if you're crouched while aiming in and walking, it makes it really hard to hear you. From his point of view, he probably already thinks that I left. So I'm just waiting for him to let his guard down. He makes an edit and starts looking to where he thought I went. As soon as he stops looking up, I take my chance and I immediately AR into his box. And since the scar is really good, especially since I'm controller, I kill him like nothing. Also, that's another tip. In my opinion, the best guns to use to kill players on high ping is either the scar, just get right into their face, or use any variants of the tack, preferably a purple or gold though, as it'll make the fight a lot more easier. I have a bounty on this guy and I see that he's based out of wood. Usually if the circle's this small and they're based out of wood, most of the time they're not a good player. So I just decided to get close to him, since I can easily get into his box with the scar. I'm not trying to make it obvious though, so I branch out to the left and start priming this brick. As soon as I know where he's at, I decide to go in. And just like that, I get up and close to the scar and the fight's over. Right here, I'm just rotating. I'm making sure to keep an eye on height just so I don't get beamed while doing so. I hear a player trying to get into the sand, and since he can't build, I immediately start shooting him. He pops out and I get a beam on him, and I take that opportunity to push and try to exploit into his box. As you guys will see, I'm using my guns a lot more than building, just because it's so delayed if I pull my builds out, where it's better to just keep on shooting my guns. If you guys didn't know, the purple tack and gold tack is a really great weapon to exploit into people's boxes, and destroy builds. Unfortunately for him though, he forgets to put a wall behind him, so I easily get the kill. So once again, if you guys are playing on really high ping, I do recommend the purple or gold tack and using a scar. Right here I'm just boxed up waiting for zone to move. I'm just setting it up so I can bounce pad ahead of zone and make sure that I'm chilling. I see players fighting west, so I'm just trying to get an angle to see if maybe I can get a kill. A player bounce pads in front of me, tries to get a shot off of me, so I just build. And right when it's time, I use the bounce pad to get ahead of zone. I get tagged up for a bit, but it's honestly fine, I just heal up right away. I start tarping in the zone and making sure that I cover all my back. I realized that you can't place walls in this area, so I immediately try to go to somewhere that I can place builds. I decide to box up next to these crystals, just so it can make it a lot easier for me to rotate next circle. Always take a look at height. Right here I'm just seeing where height is at, just to see if it shambles or not, so if I have an opportunity to take it. Zone goes back and I still have some of my crystal left, so I use that for my advantage. It goes back into my old builds, which there's another crystal right next to me, so it just works out perfectly for me, and I use that to rotate. I hear a player get cracked, and I know that he's weak, so I immediately start following him and breaking through builds with attack. Since I have a flopper, I decided to go into Storm and get his loot, which is definitely worth it because I get 4 floppers in total. Right here, I'm just making sure that I cover my back and my head. Since I have 3 floppers, it's time for me to make a height play. I slowly start creeping up the back while pushing up towards height. I see where height's at, so I decide to knock him down and go for height myself. Since I have a decent amount of mats, I fully commit and use a bounce pad. He knocks me down, but then I reconnect, and I see that he's trying to knock me down again, so I disconnect again, which then he gives up on height. I'm running out of mats, and since he's building out of wood, I decide to get in and I hit every single shot and I get the kill. He had an RPG, which makes height a whole lot easier for me. He only had 1 shot in it though, but 1 shot is better than none, so I make sure to use it for my advantage. Right here, there's only 3 people left, so I just decided to go on top of the player below me, just so the guy in the bottom focuses him instead of me. Right here, I'm just trying to spray them and get an angle with the RPG just so I can get that easy kill. They start fighting, so I jump onto the side of the mountain. I shoot a rocket, I hit him with it, and I just finish him off with my AR. When you're playing on that high ping, you pretty much have to think a lot more strategy than mechanics. For our second game, which is an endgame, I'm just trying to rotate while there's 19 people up. It's super laggy for me while I'm building, trying to protect myself, and some other players wind up bouncing right next to me, but we don't shoot each other, we just keep on rotating. I do have some white heals, so I jump off to the side right here and tank just so I can get some better rotation for myself. As I'm going up, I see that no one's on height, so immediately I take that opportunity and take it myself. I make sure to connect to the person next to me, and also check to see if anyone's coming from behind me. A player starts building up, and since I have a ton of mats, I just decide to play mat game with him and keep height. The player finally jumps down, and I see a player bounce padding across, and I go for a beam and I'll laser him and get the kill. As I jump down, I make sure that that player that was build fighting me isn't trying to hide behind me and take height. I honestly should have went for those mats since I had a flopper and 5 splashes, but I didn't, so there was really nothing I can do about it. As you guys can see, I was a little paranoid of that player though that fought me for height, just because I don't want him sneaking up behind me trying to beam me. But while I'm also making sure that he's not behind me, I'm also going for beams. When you guys are on height, make sure you guys are tarping over other builds, because if someone breaks you out and there's no builds below you, that can cause you to fall to your death. This guy cycles me for height again, so I tag him and I just heal up. As of now, he's the only threat in my lobby, so I just make sure to keep my height on him. He bounce pads up and I only have 185 mats, so I decide to go down. I dropped down to the lowest level, and it's going back through a lot of old builds, so I just decided to use those for my cover. I find this tarp with a lot of walls edited and a lot of cones, so I just hide behind one of the walls and use it for cover. Right here, as a controller player, I adjust it so my heals are next to my shotgun, so it's easier for me to heal up. As zone starts moving, I just make sure that I'm on the dead side, so I don't run into anyone. Maybe I can catch someone off guard. This player gets a kill, so I just wait for him to come out. I get a 62 tag on him and start breaking through the builds. It's a 1v1v1 situation, so the only person I have to worry about is him in height. I try to get in, but I get beamed from height, so I immediately start rotating around him and use my splashers instead of my minis just so I can heal up faster. I have one build left, so I know I have to get into his face and try to get the kill. Which then I do, and I catch him off guard. As you guys can see, I'm struggling to build though because I am at 120 ping. So instead of fighting for height with the mats that I have, I just try to drop down since I'm really healthy. This guy was a crazy psycho because he just decides to drop down with me and lands right next to me. And I wind up getting the kill. Hopefully you guys learned something on how to play on high ping, whether it's arena or competitive tournaments. If you guys enjoyed this video, let me know down in the comments below. Also smash that like button if you really did. And with that being said guys, I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Peace out, stay safe, deuces.